Okay, so I need to talk about Avatar 4, because the situation around this movie right now is honestly wild, and there's a real chance it becomes the most expensive gamble in modern movie history. Here's the headline. James Cameron, the man who has made some of the biggest films of all time, just basically admitted that Avatar 4 and 5 might be too expensive to keep making the way he's been making them. His words, not mine. He said these movies are hideously expensive and take forever, and that his new goal is to make them in half the time for 2/3 of the cost. Think about how insane that is. The most ambitious director alive is now trying to figure out how to do Avatar on a budget. And the reason behind it is something Disney is quietly panicking about. Because here's what happened with the last movie. Avatar: Fire and Ash came out in December 2025 and made around $1.485 billion worldwide. That sounds amazing, and it is. It became the number 16 highest-grossing film of all time, beating Deadpool and Wolverine, Frozen 2, and Barbie. But it was also the lowest-grossing film in the entire trilogy by a mile. The first Avatar made nearly $2.92 billion. The Way of Water made $2.33 billion. So each film is making less than the one before it, and when your movie costs somewhere between $350 and $400 million just to produce, that downward trend terrifies a studio. That is the real drama hanging over Avatar 4 right now, and it's why the future of this whole saga suddenly feels uncertain. And here's a fact that still blows my mind. The entire first act of Avatar 4 has already been filmed, years ago, because the story has a major time jump built into it, and Cameron needed to capture the younger Sully kids on camera before they grew up in real life. So there's footage from this movie sitting finished in a vault that none of us have seen yet. Before we go deeper, let me be crystal clear about what's confirmed and what's just rumor, because there's a ton of misinformation floating around. Confirmed. Avatar 4 will not follow Jake Sully's story the way the first 3 films did. It kicks off a brand new saga. Confirmed. The franchise is finally heading to Earth, a planet with over 20 billion humans, somewhere these movies have literally never taken us. And confirmed, Oscar winner Michelle Yeoh is joining the cast. Stick around, because I'm breaking all of it down. Now let's talk story, because this is the part I'm most excited about. The producers have confirmed the saga is eventually moving to Earth. For 4 entire movies, we've only ever seen Pandora. We've never seen the home planet, where over 20 billion humans are crammed onto a dying world. Years ago, the late producer John Landau said the action would shift from Pandora to Earth, and newer reporting suggests Neytiri herself, played by Zoe Saldana, may be the one to travel there. A Na'vi setting foot on human soil for the very first time. That single idea completely flips the perspective of this franchise, and it's probably a big part of what Worthington meant when he said 4 changes the whole world. Then there's that time jump. Avatar 4 reportedly opens, plays out its first act, and then leaps forward several years in time. That's exactly why the first act was filmed early, to keep the Sully children the right age before the jump. After that, we're going to see an older generation, new leaders, and a Pandora that has moved on. This is the movie where the kids officially take over as the main characters. I do want to separate fact from rumor here though, because this stuff gets twisted online. There were some older reports that the writers were even toying with connecting part of Avatar 4 back to the very first film, almost like a prequel thread. That is not confirmed, so don't take it as gospel. There's also been chatter that Cameron is exploring new technology, possibly even some AI tools, to speed up the visual effects and bring the cost down. Again, not officially confirmed, so file that under rumor for now. But the move to Earth and the time jump, those are real and locked in. This brings us to the cast, and the big addition is Michelle Yeoh. Cameron confirmed all the way back at D23 that her character won't show up until Avatar 4, and that she'd be coming into film. We still don't know exactly who she's playing, but bringing in an Oscar winner of that caliber tells you the scale of what they're building. And the core crew, Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana, Sigourney Weaver, and Stephen Lang, are all expected back in some form for this next chapter. So where does all of this leave the future? Honestly, it's the most fascinating crossroads this franchise has ever been at. Avatar 4 is dated for December 2029, and Avatar 5 for December 2031. And Avatar 5 is reportedly being considered under the title The Quest for Eywa. Now, to be clear, that's a long-rumored working title, not fresh news. It actually comes from a batch of Avatar titles that leaked all the way back in 2018. The same leak that correctly called The Way of Water before it was ever official. Cameron later confirmed those titles were real, but stressed that nothing was locked and they could still change. Still, The Quest for Eywa hints at a deeply spiritual, full-circle ending to the entire saga. On top of that, Cameron has said he has ideas for a 6th and even a 7th film if the demand is there, although he's admitted he'll be around 77 years old by the time the 5th one releases, and might need to mentor a successor to carry Pandora forward. So this isn't an ending. If anything, Cameron is building a world designed to outlive him. My honest take? Avatar 4 might be the biggest risk Cameron has ever taken. He's trying to make a cheaper, faster version of the most expensive franchise on Earth, while completely reinventing the story and sending it somewhere we've never been. And the craziest part is that a chunk of it already exists, finished, just waiting for the green light to complete it. Drop a comment and let me know. Do you think Disney should keep pouring billions into Pandora? Or is it time for the 3-hour Avatar epic to evolve into something new? And that's that for today's video, folks. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you in our next video.